Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to the OddsShopper EV Betting Strategy Show right here on the YouTubes and on X. If you're watching there, welcome as well. We'll keep an eye on those comments if you have any questions. Otherwise, come join us in YouTube. And if you don't mind, take a single second, atone for your sins, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Goes a long way for us. Otherwise, we wouldn't ask you. But today's an exciting day, very exciting day for a number of reasons. One, we just released version 2 less than 2 weeks ago of PortfolioEV.
I remember.
Greg, these guys just decided we're going to make the algorithm even better. And we're going to add on top of all of this, a parlay generator, which is particularly helpful for those of us limited folk out there, and a whole lot of other stuff. But the bets are absolutely flowing today. I'm pretty stoked about all this. I got a lot of bets in early, getting a lot of good line movement on these. Couldn't be happier, man. This is how we do it.
Yeah, and we'll show you guys some of the new features that we've rolled out here as well. So if you're on the top bets page, you could see that we have the generate parlays button here, and you could select different settings in here. So the number of parlays to generate, the limit place bet count. So what this means is the amount of times you'll allow a leg to show up in a parlay. So if you don't want to be betting anything multiple times, you can change this to 1, and then nothing will show up more than once. And then, you guys get the idea. Twice, it could show up to 2 times. And then you could also select how many legs you want to have in each parlay. So let's just really quick here. I'll set it, generate 10 parlays, 3 legs in each parlay, limit the bet count to 2. And then you press generate parlays, and should generate some parlays for you. And on top of the generating parlays, it's also going to give you recommended bet size amounts for each of those parlays. Now, obviously, it's not cooperating with me as I'm trying to roll it out here. So
worked for me all morning. Worked for me all morning.
Same. I was doing it. Oh, here we go. All right. You know what it might have been? I did have it set to make a good amount of parlays, so it could take a second to generate sometimes. But anyway, here we go. Good to roll. So you see here all the different parlays that we have built out. You'll see what books that they're on. So the top ones that were generated here, it kind of works like an optimizer for DFS, where it's like based on everything that's on the board, the parameters you set, these are the best possible parlays that could be built. And you'll see here that you'll get what each line is, right? So over 9.5 points for AJ Johnson, under 4.5 assists for Paulo Banchero, under 5.5 assists for Isaiah Hartenstein. One thing immediately I'm actually going to send to the dev team that I didn't think until now, I would like to see the odds also listed on this page. And there's enough blank space where I think it could be added.
I was going to mention the same thing this morning. And then I was wondering if they were just going to go, yeah, well, the parlay odds are up there, so you should be fine. But I'm with you. The one reason I'd like to see that added is because I'm always trying to double check every single leg. I know you're probably the same way. I like to double check every single leg before I place the parlay on the book. These odds move so quickly sometimes that you could click bet now, and by the time it gets over to the book, one of those legs is different. So sometimes to make it simpler, I don't know about you, but if I'm like bringing a 3-leg parlay over there, if one of them moves on the fly, I'll just X out. I'll just remove that from my bet slip and bet it as a 2-leg parlay, and then go back to work and build some more.
Yeah. And if you guys have any questions about how any of this works, let us know. You could also filter by the sports books up here. So the parlays that were generated, it was for DraftKings and FanDuel. But if you only wanted to see the FanDuel ones, you could click on FanDuel. If you wanted to only do the DraftKings ones, same deal. You could click on DraftKings. You could also go select all and have all of them show back up. So this should be a really fun way for people who like to bet parlays, which, remember, they're multiplicative. So if you are combining 2+ EV bets, they're going to be even more plus EV. And then one thing also that Lofty and I have talked about, although not for a minute, is that DraftKings, once you are limited there, they only let you bet each leg once, but you could rebet them as many times you want as long as they're included in multiple parlays. This is a good way as well to kind of skirt some of the restrictions at DraftKings once you're limited.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it. So let's get some bets in, build some parlays. Let's make some money. One other thing. If you're going in and let's say we had like a all rebounds prop, can we just build a DraftKings rebounds portfolio, select that in the top bets tool, and then we'll get only rebounds in our parlays?
We absolutely can. We'd have to build that out, like you said, and I don't have that built. But yeah, that's absolutely something you could do, and that would be really helpful too for something like the DraftKings had the 3-3 parlay boost. So if you wanted to, you could build a portfolio just DraftKings 3-pointers when they have a boost like that, and then you could build a parlay and get an optimized one just built around the DraftKings 3-pointers.
I think the site might actually be down right now. Oh, here, it's working for you now. With this new release today, I think they're working through a few things. It's an incredible release, but, you know, look, I don't envy the devs at all. At all. So we'll do what we can here. Make it work. Let's see. Pete Shepard, what would be great is when you hit mass bet, it would actually populate the suggested bet amount in the bet spot on the book. See, we have that for Caesars, but it really all depends on what the books allow. It's not really us in many cases. Caesars, that actually works. All right, so we may be slow to load in a few spots today, Greg, but I think we'll be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Like I said,
as long as we got some bets up, which we do, we'll be good.
This was released at like 1:30 a.m. Eastern time. So, yeah. Anyway, couple boosts that we got today. I want to throw these out there. We got a big what do we have? 10 or 11 NBA games today, I think.
Yeah, 11 games.
11 games. There's going to be a lot of college basketball stuff out there. There's King of the Court for NBA. That's a pretty cool one. And there is the same one that we've had. There's same game parlay X boosts. So that one's out there as well. That's just DraftKings. By the way, dude, I got 4 MLB bets in this morning for this game. And I'm like, so I started off 3-1 on the day by 9 o'clock in the morning. That was pretty cool.
Which bets did you have for the baseball game?
Dodgers money line -125. Ohtani over 1.5 total bases at, I think, +125 as well, +120. And then I forget what the other one was. I had 4 and I went 3-1. Which, very happy about that.
Yeah, start the day with a profit while you're still sleeping. Nothing wrong with
Sasaki under 4.5 strikeouts. He finished with 3, walked 5.
Yeah.
I know I wasn't sleeping. I was up at 6.
Okay. All right. So the Sasaki bet, I think even just before, like even outside of just the tools, like if I was originating bets, if you just looked at what the pitch counts were for the pit, like both pitchers pitched well in the first game of the season. They still only threw 70 pitches each. So it just stood to reason that if any of these guys struggled in any kind of way, they were probably only throwing 30 or 40 pitches. So that pretty much what happened with Sasaki. Stuff looked really good first big league start, but he only went 3 innings.
C Money said, guys, I'm hemorrhaging right now, like -8% ROI since Saturday, and I can't figure out why. First of all, -8% ROI since Saturday is nothing to worry about at all. I've had much, much worse than that. Said, keeping OS ratings between 2 and 10. I don't limit mine to 10, by the way, and I don't think anybody should. That's a personal thing. I'm not sure. I understand that you're trying to remove like crazy outliers, but I think taking 5 seconds to do your due diligence on those high OS rating props is far more, what's the word here? To me, that's the more prudent move than just getting rid of those altogether. I've found plenty of 10+ OS rating bets that look really good. Yes, there's going to be some outliers that you don't want to bet, but there's ways to mitigate that. Anyway, that isn't why you wouldn't be profiting. Putting in about 75 bets per day, I would try and get a bit more than that. 75 is not bad, though. Prioritizing longer EV aged bets, you want it the other way. I wouldn't prioritize longer EV aged bets at all. If there's bets that have been up there for less time, often if they've been up there longer, a lot of times that means that the books aren't going to move off of them and maybe there's something going on. Let's see, checking the odds graph and understand underdog notificate. That's good. If you're doing that, you shouldn't have to filter out 10 OS or higher bets. Greg, I want to throw this to you in a second, but just let me run through the last thing here. Don't know what else to do, but feels like I'm the only one who's in the red. You're not. There's the buddy that I have betting with that I bankrolled. He had like 3 horrible days in a row. I had 3 great days. Then he had 3 great days, and I had 3 bad days. It depends when you're betting, what you're betting on, what site, and what the bets are. Are you filtering out negative HROI bets for the current season? Would be my number one question. If no, do that. And can you elaborate on due diligence? Yeah, if a player gets ruled, if Giannis Antetokounmpo gets ruled out, and you see that Kyle Kuzma and Damian Lillard and Brooke Lopez all end up having under bets that are popping as a 40 OS rating, don't bet them until the dust settles. Anyway, that's all I have, Greg.
Yeah, makes sense. There's nothing, I think you covered it pretty thoroughly. There's nothing else that immediately comes to mind for me. Yeah, nothing else I'll add to that. If you have additional questions, let us know. But yeah, I mean, just a few bad days in a row. It's nothing in the grand scheme of things. Wolfie and I have talked about this and laughed about it. I have my bankroll thread that I've been doing for the year. If you look at it and you just take a step back, you go, all right, I started with $100. I'm at $1,200 now. But it doesn't mean every day was profitable in between. There's been winning streaks, there's been losing streaks. I went on a stretch in, when was it? In January on my bankroll thread. And keep in mind, the bankroll is 12x what it was to start the year. Funny. I went on a stretch where I lost every single day for 2 weeks in a row. It's just random. It'll happen sometimes. Like, I understand that a lot of people be like, oh, something must be wrong or something like that. No, it's just randomness. Shit happens sometimes. And that's just the way. But like, big picture, if you zoom out, it hasn't really impacted things in the grand scheme of things, because then there's variance that goes the other way, where all of a sudden then another day or another stretch, like coming out of the All-Star break, I went like 10 days in a row without losing any days. So you just have these stretches that go up and down. It doesn't mean that you should be betting more at a specific point in time. You should be betting less. You should drastically be changing anything. You should just anticipate you're going to have stretches where things just don't go your way. And there's going to be other stretches where things go your way and it seems like you can't lose. It goes both ways. Just try to be even keeled about it.
Yep. Last thing here, Mojo Hand. Hey guys, in your opinion, better to list 100% bankroll and get 70-ish bets, or 50-60% bankroll, get 200 plus volume? Just wondering from your experience. Thanks. Look, here's the truth. It is kind of a personal preference. Like if you go in the PortfolioEV, you can see conservative, balanced, or aggressive type betting. That'll change your recommended bet size, or you could place a lower bankroll. I know a ton of people like Brett, our buddy Brett, said that he does that. He does the latter where he puts a lower bankroll in. There's no real right or wrong answer, but yes, if you're looking to smooth out variance and have less swings, getting more bets down each day at lower amounts, it makes sense to you. But I've seen plenty of other people average like 70, 80 bets per day and still kill it. You're going to have a little bit bigger swings, but you're going to have bigger swings to the upside as well. So it's just a personal preference. If you like to smooth the variance out and have more of like a steady climb upward, definitely more bets. Definitely. Same thing with parlays, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's also related to other conversations that Lofty and I have had both on the show and off it as well. For the longest time, I was able to skirt limits on BetMGM. It came to a halt a couple of weeks ago because what I was doing to avoid being limited is I was exclusively placing parlays and round robins over at BetMGM. It's much more difficult for sites to measure CLV on parlays and round robins than on straight bets. So it makes it harder for them to identify what they consider to be sharper bettors at times. But so many players have gotten ruled out for NBA over the last couple of weeks. A lot of my parlays and round robins just ended up becoming straight bets. My account got limited. The reason this relates to what Lofty had said is while I had been doing well on BetMGM placing exclusively parlays and round robins, if you look at my picket, it's like a roller coaster. It's like way up one day because a bunch of those parlays win. Then the next day, I'll have like an anchor leg that doesn't win. And then a bunch of those parlays end up losing. So it was all over the place. Now, my BetMGM count is limited. And as a result, I have way less variance in my day-to-day results. Overall, not quite as profitable, but there's way less variance to it. So also it's personal preference. Like, what is it what is it that you enjoy the most? What gives you the best experience? Because the reality is some people might prefer to have a 4% ROI with a little bit less variance than a 5% ROI with a crazy amount of variance, which I could totally understand.
Yep. Paul talking about lineup changes, Tari Eason. Yeah. Look, if you're betting 120, 150 bets a day, you know what's going to happen? I'll tell you, you're going to have a couple that don't go your way, that you get burned by. But that's why you bet as many as you can, because individually those bets are irrelevant. All right, let's build some stuff out. Where do you want to start?
Let's go to what were some of the promos we have today?
All right, so really on DraftKings, all you have is the same game parlay promo.
Okay.
You know, the 4-leg, but it's a same game parlay X. So, you know, that helps. By the way, nice to know we still have the old parlay builder up there if we wanted to use that for this show.
Yep.
Yep. 25% college boost. That could be helpful if we get a bet. I don't think that's a parlay. I think that's just a boost. Okay. Hump day. Oh, here's a good one. Hump day parlay on FanDuel, 30% profit boost. And this is any 3-leg parlay. So it does not have to be a same game parlay.
Okay. All right. NBA, we got DraftKings up. Let's see what we could build out. Just scanning the teams here. All right, so we got a couple Lakers players at the top. Dorian Finney-Smith over 8.5 points. Dalton Connect under 9.5 points. We've got a Jamal Murray prop in here. And it could be same game parlay X as well.
Yep. And as you do this, I'm going to build it out on my end just to make sure that it, because you know how how DraftKings works with these same game parlay X's. They give us what they want to give us. So let's see what we can do. Where do you want to start? Start plugging them in, and I'll plug them in on my side, see if we can get some good part. I had a bunch of 3-leggers yesterday on DraftKings too, just throwing them in using the tools. That's it.
Nice. Yeah, now it'll be even easier to place those.
Yep. Big time. I'm using it. I mean, the moment that generator came out, I started using it.
Oh, nice. How many parlays have you placed so far then?
On DraftKings, probably like 10 or so.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't quite gotten to. I've only been testing it. I haven't actually like utilized it how I want, but
yeah,
I'll
it's actually pretty nice. I don't know what settings I necessarily want yet. Like how many repeats I want. Right now, I just set it at 3 and was doing 3-leg parlays, but I don't know. Maybe I'll go more than that. I haven't really decided yet what's optimal. I don't know yet.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to allow it to do more than that. The reason being is because the average bet size for those parlays, it's like what, $4, $5, $6.
Yeah, it's small.
So, with that in mind, like, do I really care if one leg gets used 8 times?
That's true.
In reality, it's like $20 that you've got on it.
That's true. Yeah. But also it's more than that when you consider that it kills every other parlay, right? So I guess you're right. Yeah. I mean, it's not. Yeah, that's true. If it's 20 total bucks on that guy, plus like what, the 8 or 10 that you get on a straight bet. Yeah, true. Yeah. Probably just should open it up.
All right. So the first couple I put in here are Dalton Connect under 9.5 points. Dorian Finney-Smith over 8.5 points.
Okay.
Are both of those there?
I'm checking now.
All right.
Yep.
All right.
We're good.
Now we've got a couple of Miles Turner props here. And I forget, can we do 2? We could do 2 solo legs now?
I don't see why not. Yeah, it all depends on what they allow, but we should be able to, yeah.
All right.
What really depends is if those actual props are 2-way props in the same game parlay market.
Okay. So I added in Miles Turner under 16.5 points.
Okay. Gets us to plus 495.
Yep. And waiting on the page to load to add one more. I know the one I was going to add was Nick Richards under 8.5 rebounds.
Under 8.5 boards for Nick Richards against Chicago.
Yep.
If you add that, it was minus 145. Gets you to plus 905. 12% EV. When that pops up, grab it. Let's see if they allow it.
Oh, it's actually so the Nick Richards one isn't on the board for us anymore.
Okay, so let's just get rid of that one then.
Yeah. So
There's plenty more.
instead, the Miles Turner one might be gone as well. So I'll reset it here. Sticking with Dalton Connect and Dorian Finney-Smith.
Dorian Finney-Smith is gone. That's the one that's gone.
All right. All right, we're back. We're back at the.
Yeah,
We're back at the
get us quick. We got to do this fast if we want to get in a good bet. Trying to see if there's another Denver or Lakers. Or
to blow on my computer. All right. See. We've got Josh Hart under 14.5 points.
Okay. Yeah, back to square one, Brett. That's okay. We got to build something good here. We don't want to waste it.
The next 35 minutes of the show might just be us making 2 legs of a 4-leg parlay.
Yeah, and then just waiting for this to load with the new update. Yeah, not helpful. Not helpful. Look, sometimes on the fly, these things don't go according to plan.
All right. Hey, we got Aaron Gordon under. This is, the next thing that's going to happen is going to be really annoying. I guarantee you. I just know how this is going. Is now we're going to find one that works, and then it's not going to work for a same game parlay X for whatever reason.
It's going to be that Aaron Gordon 3 prop too.
Probably.
There's no doubt about it.
Added in Aaron Gordon under 1.5 threes. And now we just need one more leg.
Good luck.
Go, parlay builder. Go.
All right. Josh Hart, Aaron Gordon.
Like the wind.
Did Gordon have 38 last night?
2 nights ago. It was a game. Both Jokic and Jamal Murray were ruled out late. Yeah. It was all related to the hack that we had in playback, where that was the reason that we had. So if you guys watch the DFS content we do a playback, or if we don't watch it, we do a playback post-lock show where we watch the games alongside with everybody. And okay, cool. I added one in here. We've got OG Anunoby under 2.5 assists. So we've got the 4-leg parlay built now. Dalton Connect under 9.5 points. Josh Hart under 14.5 points. Aaron Gordon under 1.5 threes. OG Anunoby under 2.5 threes. Now you tell me why it doesn't work, because nothing's going our way right now.
All right. I replaced Aaron Gordon for Jokic under threes because Gordon went down. I got it to plus 1288. So it's Connect, Josh Hart, Nikola Jokic, and OG Anunoby. Let's see. Yeah, let's see who destroys this for us.
All right. So I've got it in here as well. We've got the odds at plus 1288.
We might need to do FanDuel. DraftKings
is it working or no?
No, DraftKings is killing me right now.
What odds did it come out with?
It only included 3 legs, so one of them just disappeared altogether.
All right. Yeah, this is not going our way. But anyway,
it's just frustrating.
What I was going to say about the Aaron Gordon game, so the playback stream got hacked while we were on it the other day, and the guy who hacked it just throws gay porn up on the screen. But because Jokic got ruled out at the same time, people needed to know the Jokic news, so they sat through 30 minutes of butt sex waiting for me to potentially come back on screen to tell them what to do with Nikola Jokic. And the people who did were rewarded, because I told them to swap on to Aaron Gordon if I had a big game. But it came at the cost of having to watch 30 minutes of gay butt sex.
Well, there was also an image of a, let's say, European leader circa the late 30s and their 30s into the 40s who may have, sent ripple effects across the world. I believe he was featured on the thumbnail.
He was a man with a well-known mustache that Michael Jordan wore for a brief period of time in Hanes commercials.
Yeah, well-known mustache and a checkered past.
Yeah.
All right. So I actually got a FanDuel one. There's actually
Is there a boost or anything?
30% boost on FanDuel.
Ooh, okay. So if we go over to FanDuel,
the question is, do you want to include threes? Because if you don't, we can do a 3-leg prop without the 3-pointers, with just points and rebounds. By the way, I've had people asking me a lot lately, like, why do I bet FanDuel? Like, apparently there's this sentiment that you shouldn't bet on FanDuel. I personally couldn't disagree more. If you're betting specific markets, for me, points and rebounds, shots on goal for NHL, and points prop for NHL over a certain OS rating threshold, I don't see any reason why you couldn't or shouldn't be betting on FanDuel. It has been this month not only most profitable, Greg, but also the highest ROI book for me in the month of March. I have no intent on slowing down anytime soon just because FanDuel is sharp in some markets.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just so for a lot of book, actually for pretty much every book, all you kind of have to do is just say like min OS rating of 2, and you just bet everything on the board, no other restrictions. You're going to do well. FanDuel is kind of the only one where they're sharper in certain markets than other ones, where if you go ahead and you were to bet everything on the board for FanDuel, it could lead to some issues. But if you just bet like rebounds, points, or maybe if you just bet threes, but you bet threes that have really high OS ratings and are plus money, or if you are just betting like NHL shots on goal, or just betting points above a certain, like you can make FanDuel very profitable, but you have to use the EV results tool in the Portfolio Lab in a way where it's a little bit more nuanced than just blind betting everything like you could on, say, like DraftKings or BetMGM.
Yep. That's all it is. By the way, you guys want to check this out. Today is the last day for the dance promo. 68% off. You get it. 68 teams, March Madness. All of these new algo releases have made it now that we're getting a ton of sides for college basketball. First half totals, spreads, full game spreads, totals, money lines. I've been killing it with them. MLB money lines. First inning, Greg. I'm getting like no run first inning props, first 7 props or bets, you name it, everything. A lot of total base props that we've seen before, which, were a little bit sketchy last year, but NHL puck lines, money line, all of that stuff. And even UFC on top of the 100+ props we're getting every day. So what a time to get in. Today is the last day. It expires tonight at 11:59. At 11:59 tonight, it's over. But 60% off your first month means that you are getting a month of Portfolio EV for $32. I had somebody tweet me today. By the way, link is in the description. Just click that and use code DANCE when you check out. I had a guy tweet me today. I was showing him my buddy Dan, who had a big profit. And also I just posted a video on X of a guy that turned 100 into $8,000 in less than 4 months with Portfolio EV, just mass volume betting, everything. And someone goes, this is the way to do it. Wait until you get your bankroll up first, though. You couldn't. No, you don't. Like, why? If you have people doing this, $32 for a month, even starting with $100 bankroll. Lucas, who's always hitting us up and watching our videos and is on Twitter, he said I did the same thing. He just sent it $100 into 8,300 since late November. So why should your bankroll be any limitation whatsoever on what you're able to do with these tools? The answer is it shouldn't be. As long as you keep reinvesting that whole bankroll every day, properly betting your bet sizing your bets, you're going to see those compounding returns. 100 turns into 2, then you can bet 200, turns into 5, then you can bet 500 every day. And it ends up being the best $32 you ever spend in a month.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, we're seeing now, like, I just saw the guy who responded to you on Twitter. I just replied to that as well. Lucas, who also has had, like, we're seeing people who are starting with not a lot of money at like $100, and they're turning, like, not just one person, but multiple people are turning it into close to $10,000 now from the starting $100 at this point in the season.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we've got NBA, NHL, MLB, college basketball, even some UFC. Like I said, build out some Bet365 books, portfolios as well. I think we can build one for FanDuel, though.
Potentially.
I think we can.
I mean, we can with the bets. I just don't know how. I was trying to do it before, but it was just really slow to load.
Oh, gotcha. Well, actually, hold on. Do this. We don't need a same game parlay. Just go into the new parlay generator.
Sure.
And see what comes up.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We could do that.
For those of you guys wondering, it's a new update today. We're still working out some kinks. So no, obviously it's not going to be this. It's never this slow. Usually it's very quick to load. It's just, one of those days we're working through it.
I'll go to the FanDuel portfolio. And so if you have a portfolio selected, it will only generate parlays based on what it is you have selected at the time. So I just selected a FanDuel parlay. Once that loads up, I'm going to go to the generate parlays. And then, assuming that everything is working out well, it should only build parlays for me based on this FanDuel portfolio that I have built. So any what are the legs that we need for the
just
boost?
3 legs.
Okay, so let's go 3 legs. Yeah, sure, we'll go 10. Why not? Oh, all right. That one went really fast that time.
Yeah, like that's how quick it normally would be.
And our number one parlay here, we've got, oh, actually, this is interesting. I think this is a good discussion point. So we have over here, this one has a 17.4% EV, but it includes threes, Lofty. Fred VanVleet over 2.5 threes. We could do this parlay, the second one on the board. Keldon Johnson over 3.5 rebounds. Kyle Filipowski under 13.5 points. Wendell Carter Jr. over 7.5 rebounds. So all markets that we like to bet. And that comes out to plus 357 odds.
Let's do it. Now, are you cool with that big alt rebound prop on Keldon Johnson?
Yeah, let me look at it a little bit more.
Because I would do this. I think I would. Let me see.
Yeah, so I was talking with some of the devs about this. I think there is a ton of value in the alt lines, like a crazy amount of value. I think we're overrating what the actual value of them is, but they're directionally correct. I think people should absolutely be betting some of the alt lines.
Okay. Okay, cool. Makes sense to me then.
All right, so we got Keldon Johnson. We've got, I don't know if I'll be able to include the Filipowski one for myself. I think I already bet that on FanDuel.
Yeah, I would say if you have the tool, obviously, just use the tool to use the parlay generator to build out parlays. Like that'll be your easiest go here. This is a tough day. We have things moving really quickly. That's the tough thing about doing live content for these shows sometimes. While it's super valuable, you're also going to get shit that just moves quickly, and then by the time you build a parlay, like if you have the tool and you're just building these parlays on your own, much, much easier to do so because like you only need 5 seconds on your own to do this. But with us trying to build them out from like an entertainment / content perspective, it makes it a little bit more difficult. I will say on FanDuel right now, under 22.5 points plus rebounds on Devin Vassell is a good bet at minus 108. And then there's also a Chris Paul rebound that just popped up on FanDuel as well, minus 128 under threes. And then a Walker Kessler points prop that just came up as well.
Okay. Yeah, I see the Chris Paul under rebound. You said it was Chris Paul under rebounds?
Yeah, sorry, not threes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, see, it's plus 130 as well on BetMGM.
The Nomad Hiker. I noticed yesterday a few alt lines popped on Hard Rock and they let me bet quite a bit more than my normal $10 limit. Yeah, that is the other advantage to something like that, right? Is that if you're betting alt overs, they're going to let you get more down in a lot of, not all books. Like BetMGM probably still allows 10 cents. Same with like a Bet Rivers. But a lot of books will absolutely allow you to get more on a lot of alt overs. Also, if you're betting sides, money lines, uh, point spreads, totals, any of that type of stuff, puck lines, all like that is going to allow you on almost any book to get more down than you typically would on some random name like Filipowski, on a random Filipowski prop, or a Keldon Johnson rebounds prop under 5.5. Much bigger difference. So take advantage of those. Like Greg said, don't overextend yourself on some of those props. But if they are allowing you to get more down and we have it as a plus EV bet, definitely go for it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll go back. Actually, I wonder, I haven't done this before. What happens if you refresh this page? Does it
I don't know.
regenerate?
Good
This is
question.
uncharted territory. I might break my computer doing this. Never tried this before. I don't know.
Maybe it
Okay,
just does this.
cool. It worked. I wasn't sure what would happen. So if you press the refresh button, it will rebuild the parlays that you wanted with the criteria that you had selected before. I wasn't sure. I just wasn't sure what it would do if I tried refreshing.
Nice. Yeah. There's a threes parlay on the left. A lot of threes right now. There's a Jared Spurgeon points prop for NHL.
BYU Cougars.
Small edge there. What's that? Less than 1% edge, but still, or EV, but still. Yeah, this tool is going to help me out a lot on sites like DraftKings. Caesars doesn't even allow me to bet parlays. So,
and then for reference, if you guys were to place bet, I'm not logged in here, but you'll see it will automatically have these bets show up into your bet slip right here, right from this page. And then, yeah, you just bet them just like that.
DraftKings right now, there's a Miles McBride and there's a Josh Hart. I'm going to go for it.
Okay.
I'm going to go for it. Here we go. Let's see if I can make this work. This would be in the parlay builder, obviously, but I'm going to see if I can get this before it's gone. I still haven't used my boost.
Okay. Yeah. See, right at the top of the board right now, we have all on DraftKings. Jeremy Sohan under 6.5 rebounds, minus 140. We have Miles McBride under 2.5 threes, minus 166. Josh Hart under 14.5 points, minus 120. So all of those really good bets individually, whether you want to include them in a parlay or just as single straight bets, those are pretty good bets to be placing on DK right now.
Yeah, real good bets. And McBride is up there still. Josh Hart is still up there. Again, you guys see these on the board, so feel free to just fire away if you want. But yeah, so McBride looks really good. Sohan looks really good. Hart looks really good. And then I'll just throw that Miles Turner in there as well. He's up there on top of that. Let's see what we can get this to. All right, so it's at plus 823 without the boost, 29% EV. And it won't include, who won't it include? Yeah, of course, right? Soham. Man, what a rough day for us, huh? What a tough day.
The parlay X's are so confusing.
I know.
I mean, we've been doing this show together for like a month now, and we still haven't figured out what does or doesn't qualify something as a same game parlay X. And there seems to be no consistency.
There isn't. Like it'll show over under in the same game parlay, and then it's just a one-way over. There's no under. So I don't know what to tell you. We could try something else. Rough day with this loading after the new update. Look, the tools are amazing. The parlay generator is awesome. The algorithm's only getting better, but it does appear that we have a few bugs to work out before we are all systems go here and things are moving quickly. I guess that's just what we get.
Yeah, but ultimately we still have a lot of good bets on the board. There's been a bunch that are populating too. We've got how many bets have we placed so far today?
Like 60 or something.
Okay.
Why? How many do you have?
Probably like 200. I don't know the exact number. It's a lot.
Really?
Though. Yeah, I'll check. I'll have to update my picket, and then I'll send it to you for confirmation. All right. Yeah, I was at 225 before.
Where do you have? Where go to your what books do you have that many to get 220 in? Like obviously I wasn't around until like I got some bets in this morning, but not as many as I'd like. I know I could have gotten more. I was doing some other stuff, but how did you get 220 in already?
So part of it is rebetting stuff. There was a lot of DraftKings bets early this morning. I was also up super early. There was a lot of DraftKings bets on the board, and I just parlay them as many times as I can. So that's a big part of it. So most of it's at DraftKings, and then some at BetMGM and at Hard Rock as well. So the BetMGM, now that I'm interested to see what I could do at BetMGM when I just have the account completely limited. So far this week, it's only been 2 days, and I've made over $100 on BetMGM, and it's like $2 to $4 bets.
Yeah, that's nuts. It doesn't sound like a lot, but considering you're doing nothing, like you don't have to literally all you're doing is lifting a finger, right? So that's helpful. Scott said we have a king of the court on DraftKings. Greg, originate king of the court play for us tonight.
Ooh, okay. So this is really tricky because the player who I try to consider ownership as much as I can when I do this.
Yeah, we'll go contrarian here.
But there's a reason I bring this up. The clear right answer is Nikola Jokic. He's also questionable to play today. I don't know what that is going to do for people selecting him. Like, obviously, if you select him, he doesn't play, the bet just gets voided. But I don't know if less people are going to select him than they should just because of the fact that he's questionable. So that's something to keep in mind is maybe you save it in the holster for later tonight. Jamal Murray's also there's a scenario here where Jokic plays, Jamal Murray gets ruled out because Murray's also questionable. And then Jokic is going to have a PRA projection of like, I don't know, like his lines are going to be like 28 points, 13 and a half rebounds, and 11 and a half assists. And he might not be as popular as he should just because of the fact that he's been questionable all day. So that's something to keep in mind if you guys want to save it for later. If you want to pick somebody now, I assume Luka is the chalk. So then if we go to somebody who is not Luka and is not Jokic, then you get a lot of other possible options.
Let's get a fun one. I mean, it's going to be a small bet anyway. Let's get a fun one that just could have a big game in a good spot.
All right. I think I know the guy for this with massive scoring upside. You could actually go with either one of the teammates in this one, but my preference is to lean towards Devin Booker over Kevin Durant because of the fact that there's a little bit more of the peripheral stats upsides for Devin Booker. So you've got for the Suns, Bradley Beal is out, so that adds extra usage to both Durant as well as Devin Booker. Great matchup against the Chicago Bulls. Game is going to be played at a fast pace. Bulls defense is also trash. The total in that game is 234. And you've got, one of the highest team totals on the entire slate for the Suns. Almost all of the production is going to be coming from the combination of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Then the ball's also going to be in the hands of Devin Booker more because they've kind of gotten away from playing Tyus Jones. And they just like Devin Booker playing the point, even with Bradley Beal out. So, I'll go as a contrarian pick here. Devin Booker for the king of the court.
What about going full wild with Chet with no SGA today against a terrible skeleton crew Sixers team? The Sixers kept it close, brought it into overtime against Houston the other day. So they're still semi-competing.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue I have with
just minutes,
Chet, at least for this,
minutes.
Even with SGA off the court, he's not a super high usage guy. The highest usage rate he's had all season. There was one game earlier in the year where he had a usage rate north of 30, but he's still a guy who only scores 15 points per game and doesn't average that many peripheral stats either. Jalen Williams is also out.
Yeah, who's going to stop Chet though?
Nobody. Well, the Thunder are because they're not going to play him big minutes.
That's the question. Yeah, I'm just thinking if there's one that nobody's going to pick. Like,
I don't think people are going to pick Booker.
No.
Not really. People just pick the same few people. It's going to be, the field is going to pick Jokic. They're going to pick Luka. And then it's just going to be other players spread out.
Can you bet any prop on these guys as long as you bet a prop on these guys, right? Like it's
correct.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm putting it in right now.
Because, yeah, like Jokic or Luka are pretty obvious. But, I mean, what's your payout even in the event that they hit?
Yeah, so for Jokic, it kind of depends on, whether people are actually willing to bet him with the injury. I'm fairly sure Luka is going to be the most popular. If he hits, you're getting like a $15 free bet on Luka. Whereas if anybody, like if Booker wins, you're probably getting a couple $100 or something like that. If you were to somehow hit on like a real goofball, like Walker Kessler or like Franz Wagner or something, then you're making like real significant money, but that's like a real dart throw with
but I think
that's like a real gamble.
I think you might also be overthinking Jokic's questionable status in that if this were DFS, where there's a lot of sharper people out there who pay attention to injury news, yes, my guess is there's going to be a shit ton of people that don't even know that Jokic is questionable and just go on DraftKings and put his overs.
Yeah. Yeah, that could definitely be the case.
Like the casual betting market, the casual betting market is so much more casual than the casual DFS market, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's probably true. I still think Luka ends up being the most popular.
Okay.
But either way, like Luka, Jokic, those are most likely to be the chalk.
Yeah, Zach, it is. It's a huge slate tonight. That's why it's kind of fun to see if there's anybody else that could just go nuts. All right. Well, we tried. The good thing is there's a lot of good individual bets up there. The better thing is that you have till 11:59 tonight to just get all of this for yourself for $32 for the entire month. That's 60% off 68% off the whole month. You do not need a big bankroll to get started. Greg proved that. Justin proved that. 100 into 8,300 in under 4 months. Lucas proved that. 100 into 8,300. That's funny. They have like the exact same thing in under 4 months. A lot of people are proving that, with a small bankroll or a large bankroll, as long as you're getting it all down, betting a lot, getting the volume, it doesn't really matter where you start as long as you follow a few simple steps that are going to get you there. So links in the description. Dance, DANCE, gets you your first month 68% off. That's just over $30 for the entire month. Mm-hmm. These tools are incredible. In all seriousness, it's the best deal you're ever going to get as far, not this one specifically, but even at full price, $100 on a month. You're betting it right. You're just going to pay that off. Like it's going to be negligible what you're spending. So check it out. Hit us up. G Ehrenberg DFS. I'm at Lofty_D, LOUGHY_D on X. Our DMs are open. You ever have questions, do it. And also jump in the Discord. Say hi. Join those premium channels. Sync your Discord straight through the app in your settings. Turn on notifications. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Hopefully we're a little quicker here. Hopefully it's updated. And hopefully these books, Greg, aren't moving off of these lines so damn fast so we can build some fucking parlays.
Yeah, we'll see. Tune in tomorrow, guys.
Yeah, tune in tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the cliffhanger.
Yeah, later, guys. Good luck tonight.